News on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good afternoon to you and welcome to your Monday, August 1, 2022 main newscast. My name is Joshua Van Slykeman. Thank you for joining us and a happy Emancipation Day to you. Let's get to the news in details. President Irfan Ali and the PPP administration continue to allow ExxonMobil and its partners to produce more oil, despite the country's weakened by petroleum laws. With two oil ships, namely the Liza Destiny and Liza Unity, in operation, Guyana is producing approximately 360,000 barrels a day. Upon assuming office in August 2020, the PPP administration had promised an overhaul for Guyana's petroleum laws. In fact, President Ali, during his inaugural address, pledged to establish a petroleum commission to insulate the oil and gas sector from political interference. However, it has been 23 months since the government assumed office and has yet to honor its promise to the nation. Meanwhile, Hess Corporation recently told investors that while recessionary fears are weighing on financial markets, it will be closely monitoring its budgetary spending for the remainder of 2022 into 2023 to ensure scheduled investments in Guyana remain unaffected. The company said the returns in Guyana are so sweet that it pays to keep pumping more money into the Stabroek Block given the industry-leading deal, the 2016 Stabroek Block production sharing agreement it is tied to. Hess, during its second quarter earnings call, said all companies are dealing with the risk of a recession risk given that there is an economic slowdown now. It also said it predicts a tighter oil market in the coming months since demand is outstripping the rate of supply as markets in China opens up. Having said that, Hess said its board will definitely stress tests in budget for next year. Meanwhile, former Transparency Institute Guyana Incorporated TIGI representative Alfred Boulay is flagging a breach of transparency guidelines by not only ExxonMobil but also by the regulatory body, the country's Environmental Protection Agency. Boulay sought to explain the sole purpose of the EPA should be to protect the environment. However, the body seems to have added an extra duty to look out for the oil operator. Over a year ago, Boulay himself wrote to the EPA requesting data on offshore flaring. Flaring, as the world suggests, is the process of burning associate gas that is brought up during oil production. Notably, this process emits harmful gas into the atmosphere that can not only affect seabirds and marine creatures, but also climate change. Guyana is exactly 1 month away today from making one of the biggest decisions it will with regards to its lucrative oil and gas industry, whether to use its remaining available acreage in the formation of the National Oil Company or not. The government is expected to make a procurement pronouncement on the decision in September, as the country grows closer to its first competitive auction for open acres offshore Guyana in the third quarter of this year. It is likely that the move to bid could see the NOC going on the back burner. The news returns after these messages. Stay with us.
Did you sound? Heard you got a couple $1 million for me. Summer's gonna be crazy. It's easy like 1, 2, 3. Can't believe all this money for me. Money for me. I got to get the CASH. That's the code for the vault, so let's play. Top up with 1,000 and the next day you could be a millionaire. But did you sell?
More than 15 million to grab this summer. Top up with $1,000 or more to collect the letters to spell CASH for a chance to catch millions in the Digicel's cash vault. Top up today.
Did you sell?
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. The Ministry of Public Works is planning to expend a whopping $1.439 billion to rehabilitate and construct 16 different roads in Region 3. In an invitation for bids, the ministry also indicated that another $1.652 billion is estimated to construct or conduct repairs in Region 4. A total of 32 roads in the capital region will be upgraded. And finally, at this time, 2 Canadian companies are among 4 that submitted bids to the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board to strengthen the Guyana Energy Agency capacity. I do beg your pardon, we take that from the top. 2 Canadian companies are among 4 that submitted bids to the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board to strengthen the Guyana Energy Agency capacity to properly execute its responsibilities as required under the National Oil Spill Contingency Plan (NOSCP). In order to properly execute its responsibility under the NOSCP, the GEA had invited, by way of advertisement, eligible individual consultants having the technical competence, relevant resources, qualification, and experience similar to the NOSCP to submit an expression of interest and financial proposal. And just before we wrap things up, we turn our attention to the page 7 of the Kaieteur News, dedicated to being blunt. It is titled "Things Tight in Oil-Rich Guyana." The oil companies operating in Guyana continue to boast of the heavy returns and rich future that is in store for their shareholders, owing to the loaded Stabroek block. Notably, while Hess Corporation and ExxonMobil highlighted their lofty profits, Guyanese continue to suffer, with some being unable to even purchase medicine. People are now buying 1 card of tablets rather than a month's supply, while the beggars at the stoplights seems to be more depressed as drivers themselves find it difficult to scrape enough for fuel and bread for their families. The situation is worsening in the oil-rich country, but the masses are not willing to speak up. They lay asleep dreaming of a good life promised by politicians, themselves, or the rich. We must stand up to the bullies and demand our fair share. And that's the news to the moment. For these stories and much more, head across our website at KaieteurNewsOnline.com. My name is Joshua Van Sleckman, and once again, happy Emancipation Day from all of us at Team Kaieteur Radio. Coming up at 14 hours today, it's going to be time for the Shivani Show, followed by the Afternoon Cruise at 16 hours.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's Newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me